So as you can see, I'm here in the garage, running the phase cooler. Got 59 degrees, minus 59 degrees, running Super Pi 32M, and we're running on the Crosshair 8 Hero. You can see the phase cooler there. There she is. Doesn't look very nice, but she's doing a good job. You can actually see here there's water dripping off the side of it because oh, there's some ice there. Look where the insulation's come off, that's how cold it is. And we're at minus 59 at the minute. We're running at 1.5 volts on the CPU voltage. We're just running at XMP on the memory, so 3200 C14, and the core is running at 4.85 gigahertz. This is Cinebench R15 stable, and I did try to run 4.9 at 1.5 volts, but it crashed and then rebooted, so I decided to increase the memory instead. From the wall it's pulling 225 watts. At peak that was at 1.45 volts, and now that it's at 1.5 volts it's pulling about 250 watts at the wall, and that's for the system including the monitor, the keyboard and the peripherals, but not the phase cooler. Got the wattage meter up here on the wall. As you can see, it's only doing single thread right now, so it's just pulling 120 watts. Once it's finished this Super Pi run, I'll show you what settings we're at, and I'll show you a Cinebench run. But last time I did a Cinebench run, the highest score I got was 2560 in R15, so that's 2560 points. Hope you can hear me alright over the phase cooler. Right, so I'm going to have to end this video quite quickly because the board is getting very wet now, because it is very humid and it's been raining all day. So I'll just show you where I've got to finish. So we're at about minus 59 degrees. You can see we're at 4.85 on 1.5 volts. Memory is at 37, 33, 12, 12, 12, 28. And we'll just do a quick couple of Cinebench runs to show you the scores. You can see the score I got down there. That was with the memory at 3200 though. So this may be a bit better, it may be a bit worse. I'm not running it real time. So there you go, 35, 25, 37. I'll run it a couple more times and I'll open CPZ so you can just see that. So there you go. It's actually starting to error out. Which probably means it is getting wet at this point, so I'm going to shut it down. But yeah, basically the high score is just get a screenshot up here. Here we go. So this is the screenshot of the high score here. You can see the memory was actually only 3200 C14, and that's the score I got. I did single thread as well, 228. But that's it for this one. I'm afraid I didn't film much because the board is quite wet. I'll see if I can show you a second with a torch. You can see down there, maybe. I can there. That's water on the motherboard, so that's not good. So I'm going to turn it off now. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully I'll have another video on phase on a maybe not so humid day. Right, I have actually just turned it off because it was getting wet. So I paused the video there and turned it off. you can see the temperatures going up. You might be able to hear that noise, I don't know if you can. It sounds kind of like water dripping. That is the actual sound of the coolant evaporating inside the phase cooler. So I'll just give you a quick look around the system with its sort of final configuration. You can see down there there's actually water in between the memory slots, which was the problem because I haven't insulated down there. I only insulated up to the first memory slot, so that's why I've turned it off. There's a bit of water down there. There's some getting up on the caps there as well. And there's also some around here too. Now I did insulate that entire area, including the VRM, all behind this I/O cover here underneath there. That's all insulated, but unfortunately I didn't do a good enough job on this memory side, so I've turned it off before the board bricks itself, because I've killed about 2 or 3 boards on phase. So I know better than to carry on at this point. I've got the scores I wanted. Run Geekbench 4, Geekbench 3, Cinebench R15 and SuperPi 32M. It's for a hardware bot competition. Unfortunately, my Cinebench R15 score will be invalid because I didn't run it correctly. But I couldn't run it at the end there. You saw it was actually getting some errors, and that is probably because the moisture building up on the memory down there. So that's when I knew when to turn it off. Anyway, the Crosshair 8 Hero has performed quite well on cold actually. I'm surprised. Didn't expect to be able to go all the way up to 3700 on the memory. A lot of people have been saying on cold that you need to drop the memory quite a bit, all the way down to say like 2800, or try double that, which is 4600, but have half the Infinity Fabric frequency. And I didn't have that problem, so maybe it just wasn't cold enough, because it only went down to -60. You can see it's already up to -16, and you can see how much power the monitor uses there, by the way. 40 watts just with the monitor on. So yeah, it's a pretty good session actually. Not too bad. All in Windows 10 of course though. What I'll do is I'll unmount the head of the phase cooler here, the cold plate, and see how much water's under there. Might be some ice even. I'll have a look. It's getting up to -8 degrees now. Hopefully the CPU isn't stuck to the head. We'll find out though. So I've just taken the cold plate off. You can see there isn't actually that much ice around it. It's up to +5 degrees now. You can see there's a chunk of ice there, and there's a hell of a lot of water on the board, which is pretty crazy. My mount doesn't actually look too bad. If you look at the shape of where the paste is, sort of around, I mean, I was a bit off centre, but pretty much the whole cold plate was touching almost. You can see there, so it wasn't too bad of a spread, to be honest. You can clearly see that there's a high spot on the CPU as well, around the sort of left hand side, just underneath the Ryzen logo there. So let's remove this cloth and or these paper towels rather, and see how much water's underneath. Second, so I'll just move the lamp. Right, you can see how wet that cloth is. It's very, very, very damp, both of them. Ah yeah, you can see how much water there is there. Not too bad. There's a lot on those caps, just there. But yeah, overall it's a pretty good session. The stuff down in the memory slot there is actually what ruined it. So, but it didn't die, so that's nice. So yeah, that'll be it for this one. Thanks for watching my phase cooled 3800X video, and hopefully we'll have some more phase cooled videos in the future when it's a bit drier outside. Goodbye.